Afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our regular council meeting. Madam Clerk, please roll call.
Councilwoman Estimate Irvin,
Present.
Councilman Galvin,
Here.
Councilman Desome,
Here.
Mayor Bieneme,
Here.
Vice Mayor Keys.
Here.
Mayor, you have a quorum to proceed.
Thank you very much. We're going to have our Pledge of Allegiance with Officer Paul Laguerre, followed by Pastor Geraldine B. Whitaker from the Way of Illness Outreach Ministries for the invocation.
Let us pray. Dear Father, as you have chosen the mayor and city council of the city of North Miami to meet again, our prayer is that they will meet in unity and not be divided. As you have strategically placed them in office to govern the business and affairs of this great city of North Miami, I pray that everything will be done decently and in order. Let it be ordained that they make right and sound decisions in behalf of the city of North Miami. Let the outcome of this meeting be phenomenal and productive as they work together. As a result of the city council meeting tonight, I pray that it will give us hope and a future as they follow your leading. Thank you now, Father God, for the answer. Amen.
Amen. Now, before we move with the agenda, Mr. Manager, do we have any addition, deletion, or amendment to the agenda?
No, we do not, sir.
Thank you very much. Mr. City Attorney, are we set?
Yes, sir. The agenda is set. You may proceed.
Thank you very much. And now, special presentation. Let's move downstairs, please. Tonight we are going to have, think, three special presentation, and the first one is with Lucia Gonzalez from the North Miami Library. Where is Lucia? She's not yet. Oh, please. That's when they add your name. Just go ahead.
I'd like to invite the friends
Okay.
and other staff that are here. This is a very special presentation tonight. It is about community, and it is about a tradition that has been in our community for a very long time, for 50 years. In 1969, just as Sesame Street saw the light and the first episodes of Sesame Street were out on TV, well, there was this group of young teenagers who, on Halloween night, they said they were too old to be trick-or-treating around the streets of the neighborhood, and they wanted to play a prank. And they came up with an idea. That night of Halloween 1969, they climbed to the top of the library, and on top of the steeple of the library, not seen by anyone, they placed a pumpkin. a jack-o'-lantern. And November 1st, everyone came to the library and they saw that and they were amazed. It must have been a lot of fun. But not only that, the next year, the same group of young people, they got together, and I don't know how they did it, but they repeated the prank, and it became a tradition. And on Halloween night, they get together. Imagine they're in their 60s, in their late 60s now, right? If they were teenagers in 1969, and we don't know who they are, and we've never been able to discover their identity. But they are planning and they're plotting and they're out there in the community, and who knows, some of them might still be sitting next to you. And on October 31st, themselves, or maybe their grandchildren, they'll climb on top of the roof of the library to place a jack-o'-lantern. A wonderful tradition, urban lore, right in the midst of North Miami. For 50 years, this tradition goes on and lives. And our very own city PIO wrote a poem, which we will be reading on October 31st at the library, and at Haunted Trails on the 25th, about this wonderful feat that happens every year on Halloween night. And now, who's going to read the proclamation? I just gave you the background.
Thank you very much. This proclamation is for the 50th anniversary of Coxsey Army, whereas in 1969, a group of Boy Scouts from Troop 42, calling themselves Coxsey Army, placed a pumpkin on the North Miami Library. And Lucia just tell the story, and on behalf of myself and the City Council, I want to present this proclamation to the library and the friends of the library. Congrats. Yeah.
They have to give it to us because we don't know who they are. But this is really for them, for Coxsey's Army, and for their dedication to community and this wonderful, wonderful thing that happens.
Thank you very much. The second presentation, it's the employee of the quarter, and it's going to be done by Park and Rec.
Good evening, everybody. Lucia stole all my thunder, so I'm going to ask my Parks and Rec staff to come up who's in attendance for this quarter, this employee of the quarter, summer of 2018. So everyone from Parks and Recreation, please come up. One more, two more. I want to first and foremost thank my staff that you see up here, and this is not all of us, it's just a handful of us, but it takes a lot of dedication and hard work for us to try to provide you the best Parks and Rec services in the country. Without further ado, this summer 2019 employee of the quarter goes to no other than Mikey Sheehan. Mikey Sheehan. Mikey consistently rise above and beyond his daily responsibilities. As a recreation specialist, his duties include maintaining a facility, ensuring that the facility is staffed, and ensuring that the daily basis of the facility is maintained. In addition to his daily responsibilities, Mikey has taken on the planning and implementation of a citywide summer program that ensures 6, and let me repeat that, 6 summer camp field trips, summer camp food service, summer camp transportation, and summer camp swimming for all 6 facilities throughout the city of North Miami. In addition to that, he is one of the lead for hiring and evaluating our summer staff, making sure that our snacks that we receive a grant from the state of Florida are ensured each day, and lunches, hot lunches for over 5,000 lunches and snacks this summer in 2019. Mikey also takes charge and helps out with our police department with our turkey distributions every year, and is a part of, as you can see, our Parks and Recreation department, and shows his exemplary performance every day. Without a doubt, I don't know if any of you were able to come out Saturday to our pumpkin carving, where Mikey and his staff led the charge along with the JCs and the Keystone Point Homeowners Association. Over 80 pumpkins were carved. Our very own Councilman Scott Galvin was in attendance as well. And without further ado, I would like to introduce you all to Mikey Sheehan. Thank you.
Thank you. And now for the last presentation, I invite Councilwoman Marie-Estimée Irvin.
Good evening. This week is a very special week. The City of North Miami Mayor and Council, we're celebrating what we call the Florida City Government Week. So this week we are encouraging the residents and business owners and employees and everyone to really get involved, to be really civically engaged, and to do something nice, to volunteer. There's an opportunity this Saturday where we're doing cleanup. So anyone that like to volunteer and do some cleanup. So and this week, I believe that we are all available to you. Well, we should always be available to you, but especially this week, we are all available to you, residents that are at home listening, for any meetings or anything that you want. I know personally, I'm having a coffee with the councilwoman tomorrow morning, 7 o'clock in the morning. So anyone can talk to me. Anyway, so this week, we are taking advantage of this. And on yesterday, actually, we had the privilege of having some students throughout North Miami go tour the police department and see, and it was actually a tour for myself. I didn't realize how much I didn't really know what our police officers were doing. So that was that. We also had the shooter survivor course that our police department had as well. Today, we were able to go to an elementary school to teach them about civic engagement, about census, and all of that. So I'm not going to talk any much longer. Tonight, we're also going to honor some what we call unsung heroes. These are people, no special criteria, that are just doing, that didn't even know they were going to be recognized, but that are doing nice things, like just cleaning up a canal, or mowing a lawn, or being very active in elementary school. So we thought it would be nice to go ahead and this week, to recognize some folks. So we're going to do that. I'm going to start with my group of people. One moment.
I'm going to call the Vice Mayor Carol Keys for District 2 presentation. We're going to call by council member. Oh. Oh, go ahead. No, she's going to call.
Anyway, as we honor the NOMI unsung residents this evening, we are taking time to acknowledge those who go the extra mile to make his or her neighborhood a better place to live. This presentation is made to a few residents that I know have made our city and neighborhoods a better place. They've devoted their time and talent and service to address lighting, traffic, environmental concerns, safety, quality of life, cleanliness, code enforcement, and they continue to make positive contributions to our city. These are our unsung heroes in District 2, and please help me welcoming our 2019 unsung resident recipients of District 2. Webby Welsh from Sans Souci, come on up. Robert Husted from Palomar, who can't be with us this evening. Annie Montgomery from Keystone Point. And Tanjim Hussein from Central.
Okay, so tonight I'm going to be, one of the person that we'll be honoring would be Ignel Serafin. He's been a resident here for 23 years. Are you here, Ignel? We have, okay, good. We also be honoring Chelsea Gomez. She's been a resident of the city for 4 years, very active in this North Miami Elementary. Also, William Young. He's been a resident for 24 years here, and this one is really special to me because he actually mows the lawn on the canal, anyone knows, in Bree Sweat area, and doesn't take a dime for us, and he's been doing this for about 5 to 6 years. I just wanted to recognize him. We have Vitor Federic, another special one. He actually helps out the Parks Department, where he actually opens up the Buccaneer Park for the residents in that area. And we also have Jean-Baptiste, we call him Thibault, that he also helps out in this area as well. And then we have Ozzy Randall. Ozzy is big on making sure that our canal is clean. He's actually been written up before in the Herald for that. So these are the people that the unsung heroes that I would like to honor tonight.
Thank you. And now for District 4. I am so proud to be the councilman of District 4. We have great residents throughout the district who have done beyond and above great things in our community, and some of them will be recognized tonight as I recognize our unsung heroes of District 4. With them, some have lived in the city for over 62 years, 39 years, 27 years. Regardless of their time in the city, these are individuals who have volunteered countless hours to our senior, the senior program, the NOMI Gold and Silver senior program. Every Wednesday and every Friday, we have a program where we get approximately 100 and some odd seniors within our community, and they fellowship together. They do all sorts of activities, and these volunteers have been there every single time to make sure that they are eating on time, they are on field trips, assisting them and doing all these different type of things. So without any further ado, I would like to recognize the following, and this is just a small group from a larger group. Chandra Bishop, please come up. Patricia Holiday. Viola Rivas. Yeah, Victor. Oh, they got Rita. Yes, I'm sorry. Viola, I'm sorry. And Yvna Joseph. Viola, I'm sorry.
Thank you very much, and that concludes our presentation for tonight. City events.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, staff, North Miami neighbors, and guests. My name is Eunicia Baker, and I'm the Senior Public Information Officer, and I'm here to share some of our upcoming outreach programs, initiatives, and events with you. This week, District 3 Councilwoman Mary Estime Irvin is hosting the inaugural Florida City Government Week in North Miami. This week is filled with strategic activities to better acquaint North Miami residents of all ages and local businesses with the inner workings of our government. Visit northmiamifl.gov for a full listing of events. North Miami's next Florida City Government Week event gives you the opportunity to enjoy a coffee with the councilwoman along with great conversation about the community on Wednesday, October 23rd from 7 a.m. until 9 p.m. It's going to be at the Griffin Community Center.
9 a.m., ma'am.
Oh, I'm sorry. 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. The next Florida City Government Week event takes place Thursday, October 24th, and it includes a business luncheon with Councilwoman from 12 to 2. It's going to take place at the North Miami Public Library. Councilwoman Estime Irvin and the Greater North Miami Chamber of Commerce, along with the Haitian American Chamber of Commerce of Florida, will share information with local business owners of the West Dixie, Northeast 6th Avenue, and other commercial areas of the city. Councilman Alex Ezume will host the District 4 Town Hall Thursday, October 24th at 6:30 p.m. at the Joe Celestine Center. Topics include housing rehab, police, social services, emergency management, street and public works. This is a featured North Miami Florida City Government Week event. The North Miami Police Department will host its second free active shooter survival learning session for the general public on Monday, November 4th, 2019 at the Joe Celestine Center from 6 to 8 p.m. The first was this week. To RSVP or to learn more, please email scherry@northmiamipol.gov. northmiamipolice.com. That's SCHERY at northmiamipolice.com. Get to Nomi to witness the ribbon cutting of the grand opening of the Nomi Food Market. That's going to take place this Friday, October 25th from 10 a.m. at the Sunkist Grove Community Center. Spearheaded by District 4 Councilman Alex Ezume, with support from Feeding South Florida and the Blue Cross Blue Shield Foundation, the pantry is the first local government-sponsored food pantry organized through Feeding South Florida. With nutritious goods available exclusively to North Miami residents, the pantry provides a variety of choice produce, shelf-table items, benefits assistance, and healthy recipes for the entire family. It will exclusively serve verified North Miami residents. To ask questions or to learn more, to apply for pantry services, or to schedule your household's weekly pantry appointment, just call 786-570-9502. This is a featured North Miami, Florida City Government Week event. The next Jazz at Mocha will take place Friday, October 25th at 8 p.m. in the Mocha Plaza. This month's performer is Curtis Taylor. The concert is free and takes place on the last Friday of each month. This is a featured North Miami, Florida City Government Week event. The haunted trails of North Miami's Enchanted Forest are spookier than ever this Halloween season, and you're invited to enjoy them at your own risk. The City of North Miami invites you to join us Friday, October 25th from 7 a.m. until 11 p.m. Bring the entire family out to enjoy a spooktacular costume parade of our local ghouls and goblins, games, music, spooky storytellers, and fall festivities. While traveling through the trails, be sure to visit Coxey's Army Barracks. Sponsored with support from Mocha, this stop on the trail features pumpkin decorating and a video story to honor the 50th year of this legacy here in North Miami. For more information about haunted trails, call the North Miami Parks and Recreation Department at 305-895-9840. Saturday, October 26th from 8 a.m. until 10 p.m., community volunteers are invited to join forces to clean our community in partnership with Keep North Miami Beautiful. Supplies will be provided. Volunteers will gather at the Griffin Community Center, and they may RSVP in advance by emailing district3@northmiamifl.gov. This is a featured North Miami, Florida City Government Week event. The Museum of Contemporary Art invites you to stop by for Mocha Family Day. That's on Saturday, October 26th from noon until 3 p.m. This free event is your chance to create, enjoy, celebrate, and win. It's sponsored by the South Florida Automobile Dealers Association. This is a featured North Miami, Florida City Government Week event. Also on Saturday, October 26th at 3 p.m., there's a movie on the lawn at Griffin Park. Councilwoman Estime Irvin, in partnership with Team of Hope, invite you to enjoy an evening of family activities, bounce houses, games, snacks, and more. Don't forget your lawn chairs and blankets to enjoy a free showing of Disney's The Lion King. This is also a featured North Miami, Florida City Government Week event. Sunday, October 27th at 7 a.m., join Councilwoman Mary Estime Irvin as she observes Clergy Appreciation Month by recognizing Reverend Father Fritzner Belonce with a proclamation for his continuous guidance and support of the North Miami community. This will take place at Holy Family Catholic Church located at 14500 Northeast 11th Avenue in North Miami. This is also a featured Florida City Government Week event. Coxey's Army and the North Miami Halloween Pumpkin Prank celebrate their 50th anniversary at 6 p.m. on Halloween night. The North Miami Public Library invites you to mark this milestone with a party. Enjoy scary stories, treats, costumes, spooky music, and more. And don't forget your trick-or-treat bags. And please bring pictures and poems about the pumpkin left on the steeple of the Nomi Library each Halloween. Stay up to date with the latest happenings in our city by visiting www.northmiamifl.gov. Then click the Connect with Nomi icon on the homepage where you can sign up to receive our monthly e-newsletter. Residents may also like the City of North Miami on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And this concludes this evening's announcements.
Thank you very much. Now it's city projects, and we are going to have an update about our water plant renovation report.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, and North Miami residents. Whistler Pierre Lewis, Public Works Director. Tonight I'll be presenting a update for the Winston Water Treatment Plant project. This update is to supplement what we have on our website. We have a CIP, Capital Improvement Project link, which has a lot of information on various projects that are going on throughout the city. The water plant improvements are for the human health benefits, which is of producing safe drinking water. The North Miami community leaders have always ensured protection of health and environmental resources for its residents. The water plant was originally constructed in 1962, which makes it more than 60 years old, and since that time, there has been no major improvements made to the water plant. This process has required many solicitations, many resolutions to be approved by council, and we are also funding this project with state revolving loans. On the slide, you'll see that the loan that was used to repair the filters was an amount of approximately $4.4 million, of which we had $800,000 of the principal forgiven. And we also received a super low interest rate of 0.61%. The rehabilitation is progressing. The well rehab was completed in 2016. We completed the filter rehab in July of 2019. Earlier this month, we had the state FDEP come to do the final closeout inspection. This will be the second SRF loan project that we have closed out. The remaining portion is for what we call the water treatment plant rehab and storage tanks. We anticipate the startup of that project, of the actual facility, in late 2022. This project is complex and it requires a methodical, phased approach to minimize plant shutdown and interruption of services. On this slide are the costs associated with the project. The well rehab was approximately $240,000 and it was completed in November 2016. The filter project was approximately $3.15 million, completed in July of this year, and the pending portion is for the rehab and storage tanks, which right now is estimated to be $20 million. We anticipate the project will start in October 2020 and will be completed in September 2022. That completes my presentation, and I'm available for any questions that you may have.
Do you have any question on the dais?
Yeah, just thank you. We asked for this last week. It's good for the residents to know that we are working on our water and our water plant, and we are moving along. Your one slide says startup approximately late 2022. The other slide says start 2020, finish in 2022. So
Startup of the facility. That's the term that we use once construction is finished.
oh,
The
okay.
actual
Oh, I see.
operations.
Okay, thank you. So why are we waiting? Why do we still waiting another year before we even start? What do we still have to do with that?
Right now, it's in the design phase.
Okay.
Once we finish the design phase, we go through permitting, we solicit a contractor, and the construction start date is October 2020. It'll take about two years to complete the construction.
We don't have the contractor yet? This is.
We do not have the contractor yet.
Okay, thank you. Good report, thank you very much.
Thank
you, Scott. Councilwoman Alex.
No.
I have a question. What about the building?
The new building is part of that final phase, which will start in October 2020.
You said the rehab and the storage. You haven't said anything about the building here, no?
The final phase includes the construction of the building.
Okay. When will you start with, you're telling me the last RFP gonna be for the remaining $20 million, including the building and the rehab and the storage, for the rehab and the storage.
Yes, Mayor.
But if I'm not mistaken, we had a presentation about the building like 5-6 years ago, and you said we haven't choose a company yet. It was a concept, the one that was presented years ago.
What you selected the last time was the design consultant to design the building, the storage tanks,
Okay.
and the rehab.
You have that. You don't have that in your presentation.
But
But we did the design already, right? About the building.
the design is in process. It's not completed
It's
yet.
not completed. Okay. What about that yellow building that you present like 6 years ago?
That-
About the new building.
That was a conceptual drawing, yes.
It was okay. What about the property across the street that you acquire based on what assumption that you acquire those land if you don't have the design, nothing?
The land acquisition was for the installation of the storage tanks. We are proposing to install 2 storage tanks on the properties that were purchased by the city.
Okay, but you don't have a description of how you're gonna spend the remaining $20 million.
And with all of, in all of the solicitations, you have had resolutions which have included proposals from the consultants, which state the entire scope, all phases that will be designed, the durations, the milestones, along with conceptual drawings that have been approved from DRC. The last presentation was done in April of this year, and it included that information.
Yeah, that's the part. That's the most important part. The other one we understand about the filtration, the rehab, and the last part, the building and the phase of the remaining $20 million. That's the most important part of the presentation that we are looking for. Mr. Manager, I don't know if you can follow on that. Yes, sir.
Yeah, Whistler, let's cut to the chase, because when is it gonna finish? Because I have been receiving some calls regarding the project, but I'm thinking this is something that should be done within the next 2 years, but I'm seeing stuff in 2022. So when would the complete, is it money that we need, or what's the holdup?
The slide before you says that the status is pending.
What
Construction will
status?
start-
What status? I'm saying, why?
The project is currently in the design phase.
It's in the, okay,
You have
design.
to design the facility.
No, I understand the
before-
process.
Okay.
Design and then all this. So when is the complete, the 2022 you saying?
Yes,
Is when everything would be complete.
yes.
So that's 3 years from now.
Yes.
So any residents call me just 3 years from now. The other question, well, 2020 hasn't started yet. I'm thinking I'm in 2019 yet. The other question, and we had this discussion, Mr. Manager, have we done the outreach properly?
So, per our discussion, yeah, we have talked about it. We will be, as we go into the letting of the construction phase, we will include outreach as part of that, process. So we'll have a company, we'll select a company that will go out at that time. They're not needed now during the design because there's no, there's no physical construction going on with regards to that phase, so.
But I think we need to either have and that's been our problem, we need to either have a town hall, and if 2 people showed up, that's on them, but we need to let people know early, not when we're ready to disrupt their lives for a couple of months. Your department should be having some type of meeting saying, this is what we are, this is what we're doing, and we are gonna come back and let the residents know around that surrounded area. Folks, anywhere from in fact, the entire district in the city should be, because this is important for everyone in the city.
Our outreach plan was is gonna be obviously concentrated around the physical space, but for the entire city because it affects the water
everybody.
and everything. Yeah.
So again, we should do, I'm recommending that you guys do a town hall about that for the community way prior. Whenever you guys decide to do it, you know, to just let people know, give an update.
We can certainly do that, and
Thank you.
we have the lead time to do it now.
How many tank do we have right now
Right now, we have 2 tanks.
on site?
Yes.
Okay. After the completion of the project, how many we are going to have?
We will have 2 tanks.
2 additional?
No, the 2 existing tanks will be replaced with 2 larger tanks
At the same location?
at the vacant lots across the street from the plant.
Okay, you're gonna move those 2 tanks across the street.
Yes, sir.
Where you gonna put the building?
That's why we're taking down one of the buildings to put, one of the tanks to put the building there.
Okay, that's when you're gonna remove both tanks.
Yes,
You're gonna put it at DMC lot,
yes.
and you're gonna put the building inside of that.
In the fenced area, yes.
Okay. Are you gonna block the street?
No,
That's when the street gonna stay open. That's the presentation that I think we need. We understand that the other part of the project has been done. That's the last phase. That's what
So
we
you
are.
wanna.
From what I understand, I in 2013 there is a presentation that was done, and where we had pictures of where the tanks are going to be, the size of the tank, even the building, how much is going to cost. Because if you borrow $38 million, I'm pretty much sure you anticipate how much the building is going to be. And after 6 years, with the price of construction, do you think it's gonna be the same?
we update our construction cost estimates throughout the duration of the design, and a lot of the information that you're requesting is available on the city's website.
But that's how we do understand that. That's why we ask for the presentation for everyone to know, especially people who don't want to go on the website to know exactly what we are doing about the water plant. The quick question, right? How many residents do we serve right now?
Right now, we estimate 90,000 residents. Our water service area goes beyond city limits.
Okay. How many gallons of water we are able to, the plant is able to pump in right now, to produce right now?
Our permitted capacity is
Not permitted.
Our permitted capacity is 9.3 million gallons per day. However, without the full upgrade, we have not been able to achieve that. Right now, we are producing approximately 6 million gallons per day.
6 million?
Yes, sir.
It's less than 2013 from what I remember. In 2013, the presentation was 7.1, and now it's $6 million. That's mean we are pumping less than.
We are pumping more, and I can provide you with the
We are
water
pumping more
reports
than what?
than 2013.
But I have it home, the presentation that was done. Okay, we don't want to discuss that. Then, at the end of the project, how many gallons will we be able to pump to produce?
At the end of project, we estimate we'll produce approximately 9 million gallons per day.
That's been the full capacity of our permit.
Close to the full capacity.
Okay, that's when we're still gonna buy water from the county.
Even if we were able to produce the 9.3 million gallons per day, we would not be able to produce enough water for all of the residents. We will have to supplement our water production with purchases from Miami-Dade County.
Okay, when you're talking about the age of our system, right?
Yes.
Do you have an idea of how many gallons of water we are losing based on leaks, and that's come up really in the sink?
I'm sorry,
don't know.
you're asking for leaks throughout our distribution system?
Yeah.
On the last report that we turned in, it was approximately between 20 and 25%.
25% of that $9 million, of that 9 million gallon that we are gonna be able to produce, we're gonna lose about 25% of that.
Roughly, yes.
Okay. What is the solution?
The solution is to repair our water mains.
What, and what's the cost?
Which is how much it will cost?
For one fraction.
It will cost millions of dollars. I do not have a.
We don't
estimate
have
off
any
the top of
study
my head.
about
No.
our water and sewer infrastructure. Okay. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Do we have any question from the public? And yeah, if they have some questions, we're not gonna answer each question. Ask the question, and then at the end of the day, we're gonna, yes.
Mr. Mayor, I was going to say myself for the citizen forum. Jim Garrett, 11610 North Bay Shore Drive. Our problem is this goes back to the 80s, because we had water losses back then with the pipes and the mains, and we didn't have the money back then because we had to serve a bond issue with Interama. The easy solution, and it's very quick, the areas outside the city, the West Side Tract, the Biscayne Park and Biscayne Shores, including Jockey Club and Cricket Club, if they don't, especially the East Side Tracts, if they don't want to become a part of North Miami, my suggestion is, and I said this to the city manager almost 2 years ago, sell those water accounts, them systems, to Miami-Dade Water and Sewer. Use the money and help that towards our replacement of the mains for the water system and the sewer system. We can take that and we can be creative. He's very creative in financing, in a good way. I want to congratulate the manager for that, especially with the water plant. We need to address this. And I think by decreasing the size of the system to the city size, we will be able to serve our own customers based on our license at 9.1. Also, number two, if you don't notice, the Seminoles, they are not governed by any regulatory agency. They've gone into their own water plant business. They built a water plant on their property up in Hollywood because Hollywood tried to raise the rates on them, and they got an unlimited permit, and they can suck the Florida Aqueduct dry, and they're going to start going into the water business. So keep that in mind. Number three, there was a good interview yesterday on WRN radio. It was between 8 and 9. It was the director for Miami-Dade Water and Sewer. There were some interesting facts, but one of the facts is Miami-Dade is going to increase the rates every year to pay for their bond issue for the sewer plants in the county. So what that means, we're going to have rate increases of the water that we buy from WASA. So what we need to do, we need to get off the WASA addiction, and we need to address our own issues. And how we do it, I think the one easy solution is to sell them customers outside the city.
Yes, sir. No, at the end, if there is a question.
William Prevotel, 11950 North Bay Shore Drive. I don't know if it was exactly addressed, but I was just curious of that approximately $20 million. How was that allocated between the two new tanks, the new administrative building, and other peripheral pumping equipment and such, the piping and other facility equipment? And I didn't quite catch it, but and please, please, if you can inform me if I missed it. Are any of the piping elements going throughout the city, the mains throughout the city, are they being replaced in this cost, or is it just the on-site work that's being proposed and it's $20 million? The next question is it too late for us to? It seems like, regardless of how many times I've mentioned it, I think it would be really good if we have the location of the new parcel of land for the two tanks. Can we also locate the new administration on that same parcel? What that does is, rather than taking down the existing building, relocating people and building on that same site, it allows us to keep that building operating, go to the new structure at when it's done, whether it's delayed or whether it's early, and it also preserves, there's a chance of us retaining some of that park, restoring some of that park. It may have some equipment on there, I understand, maybe some pumping features, some pipes, but it may be able to restore that as a park for that community. Rather than us sort of littering the new site and littering the old site, this is a way of us gaining that, preserving that neighborhood a little bit. It's simple as having your two tanks, and having the third building can even be the footprint of another tank in the future with parking below, like a big mushroom. Simple design, gets us off the floodplain, would not be difficult to do, and would sort of be in the theme. So thank you for consideration, and thank you for answers.
Thank you very much. Do you have anything to say from those two comments?
Sure. The cost that was given was for work only at the actual water treatment plant site.
And it's a $38 million project total that we are doing in phases, right?
We're doing it
Yes,
in
yeah.
multiple phases, yes.
You're set, no questions? And thank you very much. If we can have a report on the $20 million project, how much is the building, the 2 tanks, and give us some detail about the last phase of the project. The second presentation is affordable housing and affordable and workforce housing. Yes, sir.
Good evening, Larry Springs, City Manager. Hold on 1 second. Might as well up there. I'm before you this evening to discuss affordable and workforce housing initiatives. As you know, we've had a number of retreats, public and private discussions about the urgency of housing and our housing needs in the city of North Miami. As background, as you know, we had a study done by FIU, Metropolitan Center. The study showed housing, 61.4% of the renters in North Miami are cost burdened, greater than 30% of household incomes on housing, and 40% are severely cost burdened, which means they're spending greater than 50% of their household incomes on housing costs. As a matter of information, the city's median income is $37,490 a year, based on the timing of the study, which is actually 15% less than the countywide median income, which is $44,224, which means just based on that criteria, we are even cost burden or impacted by 15% more. It is estimated that 52.8% of the city's city owner households with a mortgage are cost burden as well. So high, significant mortgage, again, placing them in that those percentage buckets. They're spending more than 50% of their household incomes on their mortgage. Housing affordability analysis for owner units in North Miami shows significant gaps at all household income levels below 120% of the city's median income. And of course, further background, Mayor and Council has established housing as a primary policy focus for the city and the CRA. And as you know, in this last budget, we've set aside approximately $3.1 million toward housing. So what do we do? I worked, and I should acknowledge them, I worked closely with our CP&D staff and our housing staff, Tanya Wilson-Sajor, Debbie Love, and Marie Jean Ferens, on putting together and talking about these strategies. We also looked at the recommendations of the housing study, but those recommendations really just focused on ensuring that we moved our housing stock from, or actually supplemented our housing stock with mixed-use, multifamily strategies as opposed to a single-family strategy. So what do we do? The first step or first strategy really is about focusing on housing incentives, which within our land development regulations and our ordinances. First, administrative approval for site plan reviews and allocations of units. Waiver of impact fees based on a percentage affordability. So if a building is 100% affordable, we would do a full waiver. If it's 15%, we would do 15, so on and so forth. Allow for accessory units and granny flats. As you know, this city put a prohibition on those in the last few years. One of the strategies that the county is using, as well as what we're recommending, is that we lift that prohibition and look at development details around granny flats, so they can be a little bit closer to the property line, maybe a smaller square footage if they're detached in the backyard or attached, and looking at the ability to provide those units. And that would be something that would be encouraged in the private market by allowing this strategy, this policy change. Parking variances. The cost of structured parking is exorbitant right now. It's probably averaging about 30,000 a space right now in South Florida. If you have a project that is affordable, look at allowing for parking waivers. Hopefully those, with all of the TOD updates we've already made, we'll see some of this investment happening along our transportation corridors. And then this is fast tracking permitting is really should have been a little bit broader and say expediting the process and easing the process for the approvals of affordable housing projects, whether they are subsidized by HUD and receiving tax credit financing in a more traditional sense, or in a case where we have a private developer. In the case we just approved last week, Nomi Village, you have a private developer who's actually delivering 100% affordable project with private money by doing rehab. Making sure, we would certify them with our housing staff, but then allow for them to have expedited permitting and take advantage of some of these incentives in the LDRs. Second strategy, this one is very aggressive and I would say jokingly and seriously goes against some of the policy decisions this board has made over the last 4 years. And this would be to create density incentive bonuses to support the development of workforce and affordable housing trust fund. What does that mean? A developer would come in and we would have a overlay or an ability, say the as of right height is 10 stories. However, they're willing to invest more money to go higher. If we would allow for that additional height and density, so more units in that project, if they are willing to make a contribution into an affordable housing trust fund. City of Miami currently has one. I believe the county may have one as well. And what that does is it creates a recurring, consistent pot of leverage dollars that can be used to build units in other areas, or perhaps even buy down units in an existing project. This is, I would say, for our board and our legislative history, a very huge change, almost like a 180-degree turn for the city, because now we would have to really consider higher density along certain areas. Now, obviously, we can control it. We can adjust the LDRs in our existing PD overlays, our existing TOD overlays. So that additional density is in concentrated areas, so it does not harm or impact the feel and I guess the nature of the build out nature of our communities, our single family home neighborhoods and communities. Keep going the wrong way. And then the final strategies, which I think I'm very proud to say that this council has already stepped up this year, and we're doing it. Leveraging all available funding sources, our HUD entitlement dollars, CRA TIF, Solomia revenues, et cetera. You guys approved 44 units, as I just stated last meeting. We're bringing 5 more. And, you know, I suspect over the remaining year, we will see more units being funded through that significant contribution made by the, approved by the board this year during the budget. We need to leverage city-owned land assets to develop more affordable units in partnership with private developers. As you know, we are considering a public-private partnership RFP right now, which hopefully will be on the street by the start of the calendar year. Excellent opportunity to take existing surface lots that we have now, which are certainly underutilized, and leverage those assets to create and encourage private development to help build affordable and workforce housing units. And I should make one statement, and it'll come up later. We really need to educate our public about our definition of affordability. I know there's a stigma that goes along with the name affordable housing. And the sad part is when we have private developers telling us that a 1-bedroom, 540 square foot apartment at $1,700 a month or $1,900 a month is affordable. Right. It's ridiculous. Yeah. The South Florida market, as you know, is unnaturally high, and that's because of all the foreign investment that has, you know, I'm not going to say plagued this community because it has provided for other advantages around the area, but certainly for people who live and work in Miami, Broward, Palm Beach, it has created a significant issue that not only us but the county and all the cities are dealing with. Final strategy is something that has not happened in Dade County to date in a development project, in a single development project, which is to maximize a mixed income strategy, development strategy. What is that? Private developer is building a private market rate apartment building or a condominium. The government comes in and says, okay, we're gonna support this project by giving you some of those incentives that I referred to earlier, and we're gonna give you $2 million. For that $2 million or a back-end TIF deal where we'll rebate 50% of your taxes, we expect you to provide 10 units, 15 units, 30 units at an affordability range that we would negotiate. What you're doing there is 2 things. You're directly targeting the issue of affordability because the units will get produced, built, and they will be quite luxury if it's a market rate building. But also you have a social impact. You have now wealthier individuals dwelling, interacting, working, potentially working with individuals who are of less resources, learning from each other, hopefully becoming friends and actually helping each other advance in life. You see this already happening in cities like New York, and Boston, Chicago, but for whatever reason, and I believe I know the reason, it has not happened here. And that reason is the stigma associated with the name affordable housing, or the notion of subsidized housing via Section 8 or some program, or even senior housing that is subsidized by the local or the federal government. You've seen developers, horrible stories of having a building that's actually supposed to be a mixed income building, having 2 entrances, 2 lobbies, one for the poor people and one for the rich people. Why do you need to do that? So there's this huge stigma. But in New York, they don't seem to have that problem. In fact, in speaking with our developers, they passed some legislation recently in New York to actually control rents that are having a unintended, consequence to very wealthy apartment owners and developers because they're not going to be able to squeeze all the orange out of the juice anymore to get maximum price. So I believe that is a strategy that we could deploy right now. And you've kind of almost done it with that approval that you did last week, because we did buy down 6 units. Thanks, Mr. Mayor, for asking for the additional ones in that same building. Now, that building, as you know, will average at 85% of Dade County median income, which means it, by its definition, is totally affordable, a total affordable project. But you see where we're going. Next steps. Obviously, after debate and consideration of the staff, I think of the council, excuse me, we need to do a few things. One, bring back a comprehensive set of ordinances and comprehensive land use changes back to the council and go through the process for consideration. Again, very aggressive. We're talking about density incentive bonuses, additional height, granny flats, all of those things that has traditionally not been something that we would have normally considered in the open market, bringing that stuff back. And I know that's a long process because we've done it before with town hall meetings, going to planning commission, and then finally to the board, and even still having 1 or 2 readings. So that could take some time, but I think if we take an aggressive approach, we can certainly get it done, and we certainly have the energy to do it. Second is to deal with the stigma. We need to develop and implement an education and outreach strategy to educate our constituents so that people understand what affordability is and how we're looking at it, how it affects them. You know, I don't know that we would have as great of an issue with our city because, you know, greater than 50% of our residential dwellers are cost burden right now. So they understand it, they're feeling it. So I'm sure they'll be happy. But for those who don't understand it, get out there and really educate. And finally, pursue a very aggressive engagement strategy with the developer community to encourage investment in the city. That's going to be multifaceted. One of the things that I will tell you, we are, as documented in Miami Herald, one of the fastest growing cities. People are very interested in North Miami. I actually got a call from another educational institution, a very prominent one in South Florida, who's looking to perhaps move a clinic here. So people have serious interest in coming here. But the developer community is afraid. They have witnessed some of our approval processes become very protracted. And when you talk about someone who just spent, I don't know, $5 million on a piece of land, another $1 million in engineers, architects, lawyers, doing renderings and plans, and then they get stalled through, you know, our approval process, be it, and this is no shade, if you will, on our planning commission or this board, but the approval process takes a long time, and every day for a developer means more money spent. And yes, they're in the business to make money. Some do have a social conscience and they focus on it, but their bottom line is to make money. And so every day, every minute it takes longer, it really it hurts their willingness, if you will, to make that investment and make that jump. We have a lot of great potential properties in this city. Myself, city attorney, and my deputy, we drive around all the time and we look at different parcels that we can see. If you open your eyes, you see a new hotel, you see a new mixed-use building, you see a new retail outlet. And I know that I'm constantly having conversations with various developer associates that I have. Hey, look at this property. This thing just came up. We just changed the zoning here. I would tell you, I might as well be a paid broker for Greenwich Studios, because I say their name every day to somebody because I know they want to sell. And with the overlay we just approved, that is a great opportunity for a mixed-use project in a great location and an opportunity for us to get a number of mixed income and affordable units in our inventory as a city. So with that, I will open it to questions or comments from the council.